Hey YouTube, Longboys Post 1975. I've had this for about 3 weeks. I did a couple of videos about it. The Star Wars Blu-ray complete edition. Now, it's been a while, but officially last night I finished everything. All 6 movies, the lot. Doesn't sound too healthy. Finished the lot. Everything. Now, I'll put this out there. I don't care what you think. I'm an absolute special feature whore. I love special features, you know. I love movies. Any insight to a movie that offers me something I did not know before, you know, just tidbits, trivial stuff. People making mistakes on set, I love it all, you know. The process of making movies, the process of special effects, the process of sound, the music, you know, the score, everything. I love it. So I've literally inhaled everything this has to offer through my eyes, my ears, generally my face. So what are my final thoughts? Am I glad I own this? Yes. As normal, I'm going to contradict myself in this video. Yes, I am glad I own this, because you get to see three, I don't care about the prequels. They do look amazing in this, don't get me wrong, they do look amazing. But as I said in my previous video, if you take a shit in a box and wrap it with foil, it looks amazing, but when you open it up, it's still a shit in a box, isn't it? So I'm going to talk about the original trilogy. Yes, it looks absolutely fantastic. Like, they, you know, have done a really, I don't want to give any credit to Lucas, because basically he's ballsed this up, but we'll get to that. They've done a really good job of cleaning these up. It's weird, because in my first video about this, I said initially watching it that Empire and Jedi looked fantastic, but New Hope, you looked at it, it didn't look like it cleaned up as well as Back to the Future. Well, it's weird, because with me, with movies I love and I know inside and out, even if you're watching a remastered one, when you watch it on Blu-ray, I'm sat there thinking, I can't see a difference. Yes, it looks really nice in some parts, but it doesn't in other parts. But with me, Blu-ray, basically, source material I know so well, it always happens. Around about halfway to 3/4 way through, it's like slap in the face, and then like I can see it. So yes, the original trilogy looks absolutely amazing, and for that, and that only, I am glad I bought this. Now, what else did I enjoy about this? There is a lot of new additional content. Well, I say new because it's not. Every version of the movie comes with the audio commentary that you got from Lucas and the other guys, I forget their names, that you got in all the previous remastered DVD releases. You know, and very good commentaries they are too. Now, you get an additional commentary on each movie, and it's by cast, crew and production. Only it's not really a commentary. It's kind of pieced together out of sort of interviews and audio clips. And the funny thing is, and I am an anal nerd when it comes to Star Wars, but I'm not Mr. Quotes every single thing in the book about it. But even I was listening to these commentaries and just going, oh, that's that bit I saw in that documentary earlier on. Oh, that's that interview she gave years later. You know, you can hear what it is. It's very disjointed. It's kind of like the Lord of the Rings special edition commentary, although that's far better than this. It's pieced together out of bits here, bits there, interviews, going back today, going to recently, going to now. It sounds like what it is. It sounds like a pieced together commentary, so I don't really consider it a commentary. As for the other special features, it is kind of cool in this. Some are new, some aren't new but pretend to be new. I'll make sense in a second. You get 3 discs. The first disc is all the collated special features from the prequel trilogy, because each one of them came with a bonus disc. You get all of that collated onto one disc, and it's in Blu-ray, and that's really cool, because even though I think the prequel trilogy is a pile of bollocks, I do like special features, I do like the movie making side of things, and there's a lot of cool, good material in there. Second disc is basically the bonus disc from when he begrudgingly gave us Star Wars on DVD in 2004 in Blu-ray. So that's really cool, because there's a proper shit ton of cool stuff on here, like really cool stuff, especially since a load of it is proper retro material going way back in the day. So I do really like that. Now here's where things get interesting. The third disc has new and new old material, if that makes sense. But this is the disc that claims to be completely new, that all the new bonus. This is the disc I bought this box set for, because if you buy them separately, i.e. I was just going to buy the original trilogy, you don't get this disc. And as I said, I'm a whore for special features, so I bought this for this disc. So this is the crunch for me. Now you do get a ton, I don't know, 4 new documentaries ranging from 2007 to 2010 in age, and they are really, really good. They are really good, focusing on the original trilogy and some additional stuff. My favourite is the documentary, and it's a proper long documentary, and I really enjoyed this, about the 501st Fan Legion, which is basically a group of fans around the world, you know, who own movie quality costumes and do charity events and stuff like that. And this is a documentary about where Lucas wanted them to march in a parade for him. It's really, really cool. Anyone who's seen it knows what I mean. Leave a comment down below if you have. It's awesome. Then you get 3 documentaries from back in the day about the original trilogy. Now these are really, really cool. Don't get me wrong, I'm not bad-mouthing them in the sense I'm bad-mouthing why they were used. They're really cool. They're made for TV documentaries that were obviously released in 77, 80 and 83 to coincide before the release of the movies. Each one's made or hosted by a star from the movie. You get Mark Hamill for Star Wars, you get Carrie Fisher for Empire, and you get Billy D. Williams for Jedi. And they're really, really cool, and they're very detailed. Even though they're made for TV, they're very detailed, they're very interesting, they will hold your attention. But 2 things I didn't like about them. 1, you couldn't clean this up. Seriously, Lucas, you couldn't clean this up, you know, to make it look as good as the rest of the stuff in this box set, because they do look really bad. Think taking a TV recording of something 25 years ago, then re-recording it onto another tape, then another tape, then another tape, then another tape, so it degrades to the point where it just looks like ass. That's what they look like. But obviously the content will hold you, because the content is clearly better than how it looks. But the thing that annoys me about this is, I remember these from when I was a kid. Barely, because it got to the point where I almost started thinking I was imagining these programs that I saw on TV when I was a kid, because, you know, that's where they're from. So it's almost like Lucas has got the the foresight to go like, well, I'm going to have to re-release this movie in a couple of years, because that's what I do. So I won't put this on the special features, because I'm running out of stuff to use. So I'll keep this back. That's what it feels like to me, to be perfectly honest. That's what it feels like to me. So God knows what he's going to put on the 3D box set that comes out in a year or 18 months' time. Although, quite frankly, I couldn't care about the 3D versions. Let's talk about the actual movies themselves. Am I glad I bought this? Yes. And here's where I contradict myself. And no. But you probably know where I'm coming from with the no when we start talking about Lucas and his itchy fingers. I'm glad I bought it, as I said previously, because I've always wondered what these movies will look like in 1080, and they look absolutely fantastic. It's generally a moving moment when the Star Destroyer flies overhead in A New Hope. Like it really is. So I am glad, as much as these are the bastardized, butchered versions, I am glad I own it, in the sense that it looks fantastic. It looks absolutely amazing. But here's where I'm not glad I bought it. For God's sake, Lucas, man, you couldn't leave alone again? Didn't your mum tell you that if you don't stop picking at it, it will never heal? He's been at it again. I mean, in my previous video about these, I kind of put that in the comments, but he's been at it again. You know the amazing moving bit where Vader finally picks up the Emperor when he's fighting Luke and he chucks him down the lift shaft because he's looking at Luke being tortured with the lecky hands and shit like that, and you see him go like this: Emperor, Luke, Emperor. Then he stumbles up. Yeah, he's dubbed on a voice. And it's not that he's dick with the movie that pisses me off, it's that he's ruined the scene for me, to be perfectly honest. So Vader's like, and then he's like, no. And it's almost like Lucas is kind of like, pay attention, people, I need you to understand that Vader wants to redeem himself because he's realised that's his son. Duh! We got that, Lucas. We got that. That was the great moving moment about that scene. By dubbing on the whole, no, it is that shit, by the way. It's kind of like you've cheapened the scene. You've ruined that scene for me, to be perfectly honest. You've ruined that scene for me. it was so much more poignant before, but now that you've basically, it's like you're poking me with a stick from the back of the movie theatre going like, pay attention, I need you to understand this bit. But it's kind of like, I got it, and now you've just ruined it. The other massive change, I don't get why he did, because again, it's ruined it. You know when Obi-Wan walks through the desert and Luke's lying unconscious and there's all sand people around and he's got his wavy cloak and does that amazing bone-chilling scream? They changed it. Sorry, Lucas changed it, and he changed it into, how shall I put this? The low-calorie version. The Diet Coke of Obi-Wan's scream. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. It's one of the greatest moments in the original movie. It sets the scene. Who is this mysterious hermit? And I don't know how to put it. Seriously, I don't know how to put it into words. But Lucas, you balls that up royally. See, here's my thing about Lucas. We all know that he had restraints when he originally shot this because Fox were funding it. So he wasn't surrounded by a bunch of yes people. So every time he wanted to do something, people would basically roll up a newspaper and slap him on the nose and go, no, Lucas, no, bad boy, that won't work. And then he fully retained the rights in the 90s so he could go batshit crazy and do this. And he was just surrounded by a bunch of yes men. And they were just like, yes, George, see, George, yes, George, you the boss, George. And that's why he went mental and did these changes and basically balls them up. The way I see it is, you take a kid with his mum, and his mum gives the kid a $5, and they walk into a sweet shop, and she goes, you can buy anything you want, honey. He won't go mental. Because at the end of the day, he knows he's got the $5, but he knows his mum's watching. However, if she gives him the $5 and she says, go into the sweet store, I'll be waiting by the bus stop, the kid will go freaking nuclear. And that's how I see George Lucas. Now he's got the full retained rights to Star Wars. That's how I see George Lucas. It's like, I don't know, make another movie, George. Seriously, make another movie. Not another Indiana Jones movie, because that was fucking terrible. Make another movie, invest yourself in something, but don't just sit, what shall I do today? I'm bored. I'll pick it Star Wars. That's what George Lucas is to me. Don't get me wrong, he's a very gifted filmmaker, or was a very gifted filmmaker. Just right now, I don't know. So to sum this up, should you buy this? I don't know, it's up to you. I am glad I bought it. I don't like all of it. I don't like a lot of what he's done, but it does kind of satisfy me in the sense that I do get to see Star Wars, or not the Star Wars I remember, in full HD, and it does look absolutely fantastic. So it's your call. However, what I would recommend, seriously, is if you own these versions, the 2006 release where you get the bonus disc, and the bonus disc is the original theatrical version, and they look absolutely terrible in this. They're not even anamorphic, and clearly he's done it deliberately because he begrudgingly gave us these discs anyway. Hang on to these. Hang on to these, because at the end of the day, these are your childhood versions. You know, that's what I remember, that's what everyone else from my generation remembers. They're the movies we fell in love with. Like I said, this, it looks fantastic in Blu-ray. Let me break it down for you another way. This looks fantastic, but ultimately ain't that good. Whereas the non-remastered versions on these don't look that good, but are ultimately fantastic. However, we want to go one step further. The versions you want to retain are these. I just wish I knew where my Star Wars was. It's in the house somewhere. Because these are the original movies, and they are remastered, and they are cleaned up, and they look properly good. And it's just a shame we couldn't have these on DVD. No tweaks, no extras, no fudging around, no poking wounds with a stick. These. But anyway, to end this overly long video, where do I stand on this? I am glad I bought it. It was expensive. If you're not a special feature whore like me, then just pick the trilogy you want to own. It better not be the prequel trilogy, because that's shite. But basically, yeah, it looks lovely. What would I rate it out of 10? 6. Actually, that's a little bit harsh, because as much as he's fudged around with it and made it stupid, it does look amazing. I guess I give it 7. what do you think? If you own it, leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. Anyway, I'll see you later.